Hey, good morning. It's Ginny and Tim at
Hello.
DS Tech in Escanaba, Michigan. We're going to talk about keeping your travel safe because we actually discovered some new smishing phishing attempts that you should be on the lookout for. And it's really interesting. So,
Yes.
and I definitely can relate. If you need any help with your security at your business, drop help and we'll get in touch or just go to our website. But let's talk about being safe on our travels to see our family for Easter.
For sure. So just to kind of provide a little bit of context before we just dive into the subject is, we're all pretty much aware of phishing, where you get the fake emails to try to get you to either click the link or put your credentials into this fake website, and they take your information and then they just use it for malicious purposes. So there's been a big rise in phishing over other communication channels like texting, which is what they call it smishing, right? It's
Smishing?
SMS.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Phishing is what it stands for. And then some people say vishing for voice phishing. It's like, I just like to call it all phishing kind of smishing.
You know what?
It gets a little crazy, but
they're all scams.
They're all scams anyway.
Just
At
be
the end of the
safe.
day, if you see anything with phishing, smishing, vishing, whatever, it's just, they're trying to get you to give them fake information so they can then use that for malicious purposes. And it just comes in various flavors now, I guess, is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, because there's so many ways to communicate now, and they're just going to use every possible way to get you to do something and give them your information and money.
So kind of one of the latest campaigns that is making its rounds, that is kind of up on it. We always hear of, like, typically with SMS phishing techniques, you're usually getting package delivery notifications, like your UPS package is late, click here for updates. A lot of Amazon ones all the time. So that's usually around holidays where they kind of have all of this. Well, one of the notable ones that a lot of people are starting to notice is happening a lot is if you live in a bigger city by a toll, you're getting, the attackers are targeting all these people in these geographical regions, which will basically, like, for easy pass notifications. So I'll just read the excerpt from someone that has notified this, and then we'll kind of go through some examples and then ways you can kind of look for it and protect yourself. So this one talks about they received one of these messages. It lined up with the trip they were using on a toll road near Los Angeles.
That's the crazy part. I'm sorry, but to interrupt you, but that's the crazy part. It lined up with their trip.
Yeah, because unfortunately, using AI and data stuff, if these attackers are somehow scraping it or whatever, they, if you were on Facebook and you're like, I'm going for a trip.
Oh yeah.
They can take all of your information from all your social media now using AI, and then kind of create a timeline of where you've been if you're one of those people that posts everything online. So attackers will see that and then be like, all right, he went this trip, let's pepper him from pole. If you're targeted individual.
Coincidence, they're more likely to click it because it's like, I
went on a trip. It makes sense. Same thing, like that's why they wait for holidays to do the package notifications, because they're assuming that people are just ordering stuff online and they're just hoping that, it makes sense. That
coincides.
You're not going to get your late Christmas package in June. It's not going to make any sense for most people. So
anyway, keep going. Sorry.
So come to find out, these texts are impersonating the Easy Pass and other U.S.-based toll agencies and sending out fraudulent text messages to individuals. The messages claim that recipients have unpaid tolls and urge immediate payment to avoid penalties and suspension of driving privileges. The text includes a link that users are directed to a counterfeit website, so it looks like the real website, but it's fake. And then it's designed to steal information, such as your name, address, or credit card. And then they even say that the toll is about the same amount. So say it was like, it's not asking you for $100. They're saying to pay this $3 toll, because the idea is if you give them their information and it lines up with the toll or whatever it is, they now have your credit card information. They're going to go and start trying to use it elsewhere. They don't care about the random $3 you just gave them. They just want the information, and then they'll use it on the next hop.
And then there's the urgency, the emotional response in there.
Like, you're going to lose your license if you don't pay within 2 weeks, or this. You can get real fearful, especially if you're a busy person, you're just traveling, you don't got time for this. You're like, what? I'm just going to pay this.
Oh my gosh!
Not worry about it, right? And one thing that the new attacks are starting to do is they're not actually even using the SMS. So smishing doesn't even really make sense. They're starting to use Apple's iCloud Messenger and the Android version of it directly to make it look authentic. So what they're doing is, this campaign is notable because its persistence, with some individuals reporting receiving multiple messages a day, and the messages will come from random email addresses, and to try to circumvent protections like Apple's iMessage link blocking, scammers may instruct recipients to first reply to the message, making the link clickable, and then reopen it and then click the link. Because on default, if you get a weird text message from a weirdo number at whatever it is, you can't even click on it just to kind of save user error, right? You can't even
Yeah.
click on it. Only until you reply to them and say go away or yes or no. Once you do that, it kind of unlocks the message, and then you can click on the link. And attackers are telling people to do that on purpose to circumvent this built-in protection. So here's an example. We've heard this activity from about roughly 75 other MSPs so far, so it is a widespread campaign. And here's an example of a screenshot that exactly came. So I can't show you the screenshot, but I'll just read through it so you can kind of see it. Like the biggest key indicator to look for is
check our blog. I think I'll put these on our blog for you.
So the username is random, right? It's like SLVIA Danielle SPJH92468 whatever at. Like if you get any sort of weird message from that, should be your instant red flag. Like, is the DMV going to send a message from this random thing? Probably not. So there's your instant red flag. Is if the number or something's not saved in your book, just ignore it.
I tell my family if it looks weird or feels weird, just don't click it. It is weird. Don't click it. Just do something else. Don't click it.
So the message exactly says, Department of Motor Vehicles, DMV, your toll payment for Easy Pass Lane must be settled by April 14th, 2025. To avoid fines and the suspension of your driving privileges, kindly pay by the due date. And you can pay here using this link. They have a link that even says HTTPS easypass.com hyphen, and it's got some other stuff to make it look like it's real. And then at the bottom, here's the trick they're trying to trick people with. It says, please reply with Y, then exit the text message and open it again. Then you can click your link and pay they're trying to get you to go through the security measures in your phone.
Hook you with the emotions.
Yep.
Now you're afraid.
Now you're afraid.
It's easy.
Here's how easy to fix it. So just go right here. And,
oh my gosh.
Same thing. It's similar. It's like you have an outstanding toll. Your toll balance is outstanding. If you fail to pay by this date, you'll be penalized for subject to legal action. Pay now. Blah 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 blah. So that's what the messages are coming through. So just be leery of that. And then based on how they're doing these, they're not using SMS texting. They're actually using the iCloud texting and the Android-based one. They're thinking that there's these two main campaigns. So I'll just go into them. This is a little bit more technical for those that maybe want to know behind the scenes what's actually happening.
These are for the weirdo geeks.
Yeah, if you really want to get the geeks. Otherwise, for now, just be aware of the Easy Pass scheme. Avoid paying your Easy Passes through your messages, as well as anything else through text messages. Treat it like your email with your text messaging.
Don't click the links.
Yep. Like if I had that message, guess what? I go to the DMV's website, and as annoying as it is to get a hold of someone at the DMV, I'd wait for the hour and deal with that to verify it's a true thing versus like maliciously giving my information to someone. And now, once your credit card information is out there, that's more than an hour wait to go and try to fix all that. So it's better to just take the time to go to an official source.
Traveling through those toll areas, I actually plan my route and then I pay the tolls.
Oh, prepay it before you travel.
Right, or even right after I get to my destination, I might do it.
Right, but just before you even forget.
Yeah, you just go to their DMV website and it's right there. You just kind of, and you might be overpaying, but it's better
Toss
than
an extra $1 just to be safe, Here you go.
Right? I don't know. It just that's the way I did it anyway.
Yeah. So the two main groups behind this targeted attack they're thinking are, there's one called Darkula. So it's like Dracula with the A and R, backwards, and the other one's called Lucid. So both of these operate very similar, and they're what they call phishing as a service. So the thing with the dark web is now you don't have to be an individual who's doing this. You can literally just hire someone on your behalf. You're like, hey, I don't like this company, so I'm going to hire this group of people to try to get me information from their people. And you're not even doing the hacking. You're just paying someone to do it for you. So that's what phishing as a service is. There's these attack groups out there that are doing this and offering their services to people that pay them. So the one phishing as a service operation, it's PHAAS.
Oh, okay.
Phishing as a service. Known as Darkula, has been attributed to several high-profile incidents against organizations in various industries, such as finance, government, telecommunications, transportation, which is the one we're talking about here, and utility. They allow subscribers to choose from over 200 templates to create phishing landing pages that closely impersonate popular brands from more than 100 countries. Once the target brand is chosen, they get a setup script that automatically creates a quick website on a cloud environment. And then usually the websites will still use like .coms or a .top. So instead of like google.com, it'd be like google.top, which is like, that should get your spidey senses tingling. But either way, for the domains, and likely to prevent automated scanning by security researchers, they try to use the Cloudflare and stuff like this. What differentiates them from other phishing as a service operations that typically use SMS is they're actually using rich communication services, which is RCS. So it's different than SMS, but that is the ones to send messages for Google Message or iMessage.
I've
So
seen
when
that
you're actually using
RCS.
your actual messaging things, and the reason they're doing this is they basically are trying to give the end user, they think, oh, this is coming from my iMessage. This is more legitimate than just a regular text message, and it gives it a little bit more real feel to it. Additionally, RCS and iMessage do support end-to-end encryption, which makes it impossible to intercept and block these messages based on just the content, because the messages are encrypted in transit. Google or Apple cannot scan the message before it gets to you to say, oh, this is a bad one, let's block it before then. It's up to the user, because it's encrypted all the way. They're going to finally get the message and have to make that discernment
Which
themselves.
is also why they don't get caught.
Yep, as easily as well. So they overcome security restrictions by carefully wording the phishing messages. For example, they encourage participants to reply with a yes or a 1, and then reopen the message to follow the link until the recipient responds to the message. They also use multiple Apple IDs and device farms so that no single ID or device stands out, so they can keep spamming you. It's hard to just shut them down, because every time they finally shut one down, there's more that are just kind of spamming up. And so because these messages with the easy pass are saying hit yes to do this first and then doing it, it kind of lines up with this group's behavior and what they've been doing with their campaigns. Similar to the other one as well. The Lucid campaign is, again, it's a phishing as a service group out there. Roughly, they say 169 organizations across 88 countries they've targeted so far. Again, what stands them apart from using others is they use that rich communication services, the RCS instead of the SMS, thereby increasing the success rate of the phishing campaigns, because it can bypass iMessage's link clicking restrictions. They also encourage users to reply with yes to establish two-way communication. Once established, the recipient can click the malicious link. So for these RCS threat actors, continuously rotate the domains and numbers to evade detection. And in the case of iMessage, temporary Apple IDs with impersonated display names are also created, thus making it look more legitimate. So the biggest thing anyone can do to avoid any of this stuff is just don't click the link, regardless of whether it's coming through your email, phone, voicemail, whatever the method they're going to come up with next. When they give you that initial message, just avoid it. And if you do want to check on it, don't click that link. Go directly to your DMV in this case. Check your Easy Pass status if you owe any money, or like if it's a package on Amazon, you go directly to the source. Check your tracking there. Just don't ever click the actual link that they're providing you. Is the biggest security thing you can do. And then just have trainings with your staff members. When you're doing your onboarding and you're doing the email alerts, remind them. This also holds true for your text messages as well. And I definitely encourage you to have these conversations with your grandparents or the kids too that are just getting phones that may not be aware of this, and they're clicking things. So it's good to just, education is the biggest defense you can do, in my opinion, for this, because you really aren't going to be able to block it. At the end of the day, it's up to a real human to decide what to do with it. And if they're smart enough to avoid it, that's the best way.
And as an employer, it's definitely important to train those young new staff that you're getting, because they just, you think they know because they're young, but they don't. They're young and naive, so they click things.
They go, everything's friendly, everything's an email. This is good. They don't. They're not exposed to that level of
the training. Like I told you before we got on live or on the video, was that I'm like, the training translates to everything else, because you start to not trust the links.
You should be skeptical of everything, unfortunately.
Exactly. On social media and everything. You gotta be. Trust no one. Don't click the link. And drop help if you need help implementing any training for your employees, because we can definitely help there.
Oh, yes.
All of our not all of them, but a lot of our customers have our phishing training, and it's really good.
Yes. So, it's the best thing you can do. Really.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. Make it a great day. Stay safe. Don't click the link.
Yep.
I will see you next time.